What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Todd Gibson, co-founder and CEO of Yerbae. It's a pleasure to have you on today, Todd. How are you doing?
Aaron, I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm excited to be talking about the company. So, we just went public last month. Tell me a bit more about Yerbae and how it's been going since getting your YERB or YERB.U listing on the TSXV.
Boy, we're excited to be up and listed on the TSX. It was a very special process for us and a fantastic moment for our investors, our current investors, as well as making that connection to our future investors and the new audiences that we're accumulating out there in the marketplace. So thank you for that. It's been very exciting.
Yes, excited to cover this story. So it sounds like it's going very well so far for Yerbae. I've seen your last few press releases showed record company growth already in both January and February. Is this a sign of things to come?
Boy, the marketer in me wants to tell you everything we've got in the pipeline, but I'm only allowed to talk back and what's current in the marketplace. But what I can tell you is that last year our company closed at $7.2 million in net sales. As a new emerging company, solid foundation. We've built a lot of audience into our brand, and you go back to August of last year. We had just started our distribution route into a couple new channels for ourselves, like club. So, for instance, Costco rolled this out in August of last year, and boy, that momentum has been building. Our Sprouts Farmers Market relationship has been incredibly special, as well as Safeway, Albertsons, Vons, and Pavilion, some of the big grocery store chains down here in the U.S. We've been building a lot of momentum, and you see that in our stock. So we did 7.2 million through close of last year, but we did 1.6 million in January, and through the close of February. We closed out February after the first 2 months of north of 2.8 million. So our growth, it's here. We're feeling it. This is an incredible moment for the company.
Yes, that's tremendous growth. So now let's talk about your background, leadership. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself and your co-founder's background?
Sure. I'd love to. Well, let me start with Karrie. So Karrie, co-founder, she also happens to be my wife. We started this venture back in 2017. And when we launched the company, the concept was around reducing inflammation for ourselves. And we took a little tour around the world. We sampled a bunch of ingredients from around the world. We fell in love with Yerba Mate. And one day when we were living at home in Chicago, we were just blending Yerba Mate. We wanted it cold, not hot. So we blended it with some sparkling water. And we looked at each other. We're like, oh my gosh, there's literally nobody doing this in the marketplace. And, it helped us shake our energy drink addiction from the unhealthy energy drinks into this healthy plant-based beverage that we created. And Karrie, she's such a special background of her own. In 2005, she created an electronic recycling company that started from the basement of her home, which ended up growing to be the third largest electronic recycler in all of North America. And she recycled over 1 billion pounds of electronics during that time. The governor at the time in Illinois recognized Karrie for her contributions to the state and her recycling efforts. And then, of course, during the State of the State, he talked about her job creation, that she was creating jobs in Illinois, but she had facilities from LA all the way through Philadelphia that were full processing facilities. And boy, that was a very special moment for our family, for her, and what she built was truly something special. And in 2015, she had another great moment. The world's second largest metals company from Finland came in and bought her company. So she built it, literally stay-at-home mom, all the way to a successful exit to one of the world's largest companies. For me, I would equivalent that to the Pepsi of that industry. And boy, it was a special moment for her. So that's a little bit of her background. I've been in the beverage business for quite a while. In 1996, I joined the first energy drink here in North America. So a guy named Mark Hall, and the company was called Hanson's Natural. out of Corona, California. Had the concept of creating the first energy drink here. That, you know, everybody knew about the emerging trend of Red Bull in Europe, but nothing was in the US. And Mark had the foresight to create this very special product. And I and 9 others joined Mark, and we launched what ended up becoming the very first energy drink in all of North America. Super special moment. That product was called Hanson's Energy in a little 8.2 ounce can, but you'd know it now today as Monster. That's the name of the company. So incredible run. We had all kinds of fun. The brand is now the second largest energy drink in the world. It's the largest one in the US. And then after that, I helped another team take a brand called South Beach Beverage, which then turned into Sobe. We built that company up. We sold it to Pepsi. Then after that, I was an employee owner of a company called Fuse Beverage out of New Jersey. We built that company up to a little north of $180 million in sales, and we sold that to Coke. We created another product called NOS, N-O-S, the energy drink, kind of like NOS for the car. This was NOS for the driver. We sold that to Coca-Cola. Coke, a little different than Pepsi, said, hey, look, you know, here's a non-compete for the next 3 years. You're either working for us or you're out of the industry. I decided to stay. Coca-Cola was a special place. And as being an entrepreneur, I didn't know what was on the other side of the curtain. When you sell a brand to these companies, what happens next? How do they grow the business? How do they take it to that next level? And boy, I was very fortunate to be a part of that ride with Coca-Cola. And then when that adventure ended, that's when we took an inflammation test, found out living in Chicago, we were eating food like Chicagoans do. It's bread, it's meat, it's, you know, it's all of these products that you were taught your entire life by reading the food pyramid that these are what you should eat in every meal. Well, we took an inflammation test and we found out, boy, we were inflamed in every single category. So we said, there's a better way. We can do this. And that's what started down this whole adventure.
That's a truly inspiring story. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So, you know, let's talk about the marketplace for energy drinks. You know, what is the size of the marketplace and where would we find Yerbae in stores?
Boy, Aaron, that's an incredible question. This market is huge. So we compete in a $21 billion category just here in the US, right? Globally, it's an $86 billion category. And that's a subset of what's called the functional beverage category, which is $218 billion currently. And we compete against the land of the giants. So we're competing against Coke, Pepsi, Monster, Red Bull, Celsius is our direct competitor. We sit next to them on just about every store shelf. And you know, you watch the stock market quite a bit. Celsius is one of the hottest stocks on the market, and they're our next door neighbor on just about every shelf. And boy, well, as their brand is building, ours is building right alongside of them, and we're really excited about it.
So let's talk a bit about health, sugar. We know this is a hot topic when it comes to energy drinks. So diabetes and related illnesses are a huge problem in America. As we know, Yerbae has 0 sugar and 0 calories. How have you managed to make a beverage that delivers the health benefits, but also tastes delicious? You know, it's a tough combination to get right, but it seems like you've done it.
I mean, look, we have a very unique problem, or at least I think it's unique here in the US. You know, 96 million Americans are either diabetic or pre-diabetic. And we're a large society. You know, we've been consuming the wrong foods. We've been leaning in on a whole bunch of things that just aren't healthy. And sugar is one of the biggest enemies. And my industry, unfortunately, is one of the worst contributors of that. 24% of all sugar consumed by consumers domestically in the US, they're coming from beverages. So, you know, you can point the assumptions of what companies are delivering it, but it's pretty much every company, because that's the consumer appetite in the US is sweet. And you know, for us, I'm right there alongside of them. I'm in the pre-diabetic camp. And so this was incredibly important to me personally and to our family, that we created a product that didn't participate in the challenges that Americans are dealing with on a day in and day out basis. So as I mentioned earlier, we fell in love with Yerba Mate. We fell in love with sparkling water. And as we married the two of them together, what we did still find is we were still missing that little bit of sweetness. Now, sugar's out for us, right? All the alternative sweeteners that are the artificial ones like aspartame or sucralose, those are arguably even worse for you than sugar itself. So that really only leaves a couple options that are out there. There's one called erythritol that has its own unique challenges within erythritol, but there's another one that not as many people know it, but it's stevia. And what stevia is, it's a direct extract from a leaf, and it's sweeter. It's 200 times sweeter than sugar. So you can use just a little tiny bit that's in there, and it gives you this incredible mouthful of flavor. But if you try some of the old stevia, like back from, call it 2017, 2020, it left a terrible aftertaste. So we worked really hard with our beverage engineering team to create a product that is delivering on 0 calorie, 0 sugar, focusing on plants, but yet delivering that full function that you expect out of a healthy energy drink. And I think our team has really nailed it. We've sold, over almost 30 million cans into the marketplace so far. So I mean, we're talking to an incredible audience that just is growing daily. And what we're finding is more and more consumers post-COVID, they're looking for their health benefits. They're saying, hey, look, for those couple of years, you had a lot of time on your hands. You did a lot of research, and you looked towards health and wellness and how to better your own life and lives. And I feel like now is the right time and the right place, and the audience is connecting with our brand. So I'm so excited about where this company can go and how many more people that we can impact and hopefully get them off these sugar sweetened beverages.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for, less sugar. That's what I do for my diet. And it's amazing that you've been able to do that with stevia, because that was always a thing for me. It was the aftertaste. So as you mentioned, very awesome that you've done that. So let's talk about plant-based. One of Yerbae's top selling points is that it's a plant-based energy beverage. Yerbae boasts that is made of only clean ingredients. How does that compare to your competitors, and how does that connect to your core mission?
Sure. Well, so for us, right, let me start with our core mission. Our mission is around delivering a better for you alternative to the marketplace. So we lean in on plant-based energy, and within our products, we have 8 total ingredients that are in there. The first one's water. The next 7 are either plants or plant extracts that are in there. So we focus only on using non-GMO or organic ingredients inside of our product, which helps deliver to the consumer a product that their body will know how to use, digest it, discard of it efficiently. And when you get your energy from it, you don't get those like shakes or jitters like you do from from some of the extreme energy drinks that are out there. We believe that if we build something strong and sustainable, the consumer can continue to sustain that energy without having those big peaks and valleys. And we found that plants, more than anything else, is the best way for us to deliver that to the consumer.
No, that's great. I prefer green tea over coffee. So I know exactly what you're saying in terms of the shakes, and that's great. So last year, Yerbae launched the first pumpkin spice energy drink to huge success. You're in the news, and it provided huge brand awareness. What new flavor innovations do you have in store for us in 2023?
Yeah, great question. So we did launch the first pumpkin spice energy drink in the world, and it was an interesting adventure. I'll tell you this. So once we launched it, like consumers, they went nuts. They did backflips for it. We sold more product in the first 30 days of the launch of pumpkin spice than we had in any new entry we've ever done right after that. And like the reviews were crazy. We had amazing reviews, and then we had haters that hate mailed us like crazy, like pumpkin spice should never be an energy drink. But guess what? It created a conversation. And not everybody's going to love it. It was made with spices and herbs, and that doesn't always connect. But those that it did connect with, oh my gosh, it was our highest repeat rate SKU that we had ever launched, and it was so incredible. It was a brief seasonal, right? We love to introduce these seasonal SKUs, but in 2023. We're leaning in, and we've got a couple new innovations that are coming. So, this is a snapshot of some that are new to come. So we've got a new lemonade line that's coming out for our product, and again, no sugar, no calories, all plant-based ingredients or water. We're also launching a yuzu line, which is for those that aren't familiar with yuzu, it's a citrus fruit from Japan. And boy, there's a lot of benefits of yuzu, and to bring that into our portfolio, it just helps add to that functionality. And by the way, yuzu has some incredible flavor. If you've never had yuzu before, you got to try it. It's just incredible. So, and those we actually just bottled those yesterday. So those roll out to store shelves on April 1st.
I look forward to trying that. And I love a company that's innovative with their flavors, especially bringing lesser known, like you said, fruits, for example, into new marketplaces. I think that's fantastic. So let's talk competition. Who are your direct competitors?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we sit next to Celsius and just about every store shelf. So if you can imagine, on one side, we've got Celsius. On the other side, we've got a company called YERB-U, which is another Yerba Mate. It's in a yellow can. And whether it's us or YERB-U, we're kind of the healthier alternatives that are in the marketplace for the energy drink side. So we're kind of both between the two of our brands. We're kind of like the healthy version of like a Celsius or a Monster or Red Bull. And with our brand and our product and the growth within this segment, we're finding that the consumers, while Monster's still growing, Red Bull's still growing, these healthier fuel alternatives by percentage are growing way faster in the marketplace. And we're feeling it. And you see it in our press releases and the news of our sales increases.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I love 0 calories, 0 sugar. So that's exactly what I would go for as opposed to the competitors. So I know that you've been doing great at Costco this year. How has the response been at big club stores, and how have you managed to do so well when other brands are staying flat or declining?
Well, I can't really tell you about the other brands, but I can tell you what our team does is we lean in whenever we enter into a space, whether it's a mainstream grocery store chain like Safeway or a natural foods grocer like Sprouts Farmers Market. We take the same approach when we come into a place like Costco. We, instead of using their in-house demo services, we actually have 300 part-time people that are out there demoing our product all over the country. And once we put these cans in the hands of the consumer, boy, it is a different experience that we're delivering. Our product tastes different. We've got lean ingredient panels, and those lean ingredient panels and the awareness of the Costco consumer, like, they really connect with our brand because they're looking for healthier alternatives. And that's actually one of Costco's core missions is delivering, these organic or better for you products. And boy, we fit into that mold with Costco, which is really connecting to that consumer and, quite frankly, really driving our growth. But, we're not only in Costco, you can also find us in Sam's Club too. We do incredible at Sam's Club. They get overshadowed sometimes, but boy, they've been an incredible partner and contributor to the growth of our brand.
That's fantastic. So you obviously had a big role in the early days of Monster Energy and other brands that you mentioned earlier, that helped create the energy drink market. An investment in Monster back in those days would have outperformed Google, Amazon. It's amazing, the returns. So now that you've just launched a new energy beverage that is once again revolutionizing the industry, how big do you think that this brand could be?
I mean, it's a fantastic question. I don't know that I'm legally allowed to give you an exact number on this, but exponential growth is the potential in the space. And just to kind of give you like a level set, because everybody has been talking about the growth of Celsius, and justifiably so. It has been just a fast growing brand, but it took them quite a while to get to where they are. And, our competition they're aging as a brand, so whether it's Guayaki, who sits next to us, they've been in business for over 25 years, or Guru, which is actually up from Canada. They've been in business for over 20 plus years. Celsius has been in business for 20 years, right? And we've only been in business for just a little over 5 now. And it took Celsius about 14 years to get to the same level of where we're at after 5. So we're a little bit more efficient on our growth. We're very narrow focused on how we're building our brand and connecting to that audience. And as we continue to build these success models, we copy, paste, new market, copy, paste. So, while California is our driver in the US, Colorado is this huge emerging market. Illinois, Chicago, Boston, incredible foot traffic that's growing in these marketplaces, and we're barely scratched the surface. And here's a stat that can kind of, for your viewers, that they can put this in their mind. There's roughly 350,000 available convenience stores and grocery stores registered with National Association of Convenience Stores and FMI, right? Just domestically in the US. Currently, we're on shelf around 10,000 stores. We have a huge growth potential that's right in front of us, and we're just getting started. So it's up to your viewers to make their own assumptions of the potential growth of our brand, but we are positioned in the right category at the right time that makes the right connectivity, right, to that audience. And, we believe we have something very special here.
That's truly a tremendous opportunity. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and updates about the company, Todd. It was a pleasure, and best of luck with everything. I look forward to having you back on chatting about what's to come.
Aaron, thank you so much for having me on here. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to your audience.
If you like these videos, kindly hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Drop us a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. And finally, always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. Furthermore, this video may or may not have been sponsored by the companies that we've profiled within this video, and we may or may not own shares of any of the profiled companies in this video. If you want to know the full disclosure details, check the description down below, along with thoroughly reading our disclaimer. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.